Meeting to order. Look for my clerk for attendance.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the November 6th Council meeting. I'm Jennifer Connor, Clerk of Ramara Township. I'll begin with roll call of Council. Mayor Clark.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Bell.
Present.
Councillor Snutch.
Present.
Councillor Fisher is absent. Councillor Tuyu. Present. Councillor Goff.
Present.
Councillor Bell.
Present.
Thank you.
This meeting is being streamed live on the Township of Ramara YouTube channel. Be advised that by attending a public meeting of the Council of the Township of Ramara, you are consenting to your image, voice, and comments being recorded and will form a part of the public record. The chair, CAO, and/or clerk have the discretion and authority to terminate or interrupt the live streaming in exceptional circumstances where the content of debate is considered inappropriate to be published. Thank you.
Okay, just my opening remarks. I'll just remind everybody, Remembrance Day is just around the corner. It's Monday, so get your poppies and get out to your local Legion if you're able to support everything going on for that. And it's the least we can do for those that made the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we get to enjoy today. So I encourage everybody to get out to the local Legions. Has anybody been out on behalf of council at any functions? Councillor Tuyu.
I don't know if this counts as a function, but I enjoyed 2 haunted houses on Halloween at either end of the township. One at the Atherley Fire Station, which was very fun and or very scary, depending on which option you chose. And also at our deputy mayor's house, he hosted a really quite fascinating haunted house. Thank you very much. It's nice to have kids to have the excuse to go.
Perfect. Any other councillors? Then I'll go to our CAO for an update, Robin.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I don't have an update today. Thank you.
Okay, then I'll go back and I'll do our closed session. There's just the minutes. We have no closed session today. So if there's any questions arising from the minutes, then we'll have to defer it to the end of the meeting and deal with them at that time. I certainly wouldn't put the public out. So that we receive closed session meeting minutes dated October 21st, 2024 as presented. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Goff. Questions arising, again, we'd have to defer it. All in favor? That is carried. Next is that we receive the special council closed session meeting minutes dated October 28th, 2024 as presented. Moved by Councillor Goff, second by Councillor Snutch. Any other comments? All in favor? That is carried. And that we receive the appeal tribunal closed session meeting minutes dated August 29th, 2024 as information. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Tuyu. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Did that. Adoption of the agenda, that the council agenda dated November 6, 2024, and any additions there to be adopted as presented. Moved by Councillor Goff, yes. Second by the Deputy Mayor. Over to the clerks, yes.
We'll amend the agenda to remove item
1.4.
Yes, from the closed session.
Which was the closed session that we no longer need. So that will be removed from the agenda. And when we get into the committee of the whole one, there are some changes there. We were just streamlining all the motions that were coming. So there will be some changes where we're combining some together. So we're only voting once on each issue. With that, any other questions on the agenda as amended? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Open forum regarding members, the public, anything on the, well, you're here for a deputation, sir. Anything else on the agenda you'd like to comment on? No, not seeing anything. So adoption of council minutes. I got a recommendation. The council meeting minutes dated October 21st, 2024 be adopted as presented. Moved by Councillor Goff, second by Councillor Bell. Or questions or comments from the minutes? All in favor? That is carried. That the special council meeting minutes dated October 24th, 2024 be adopted as presented. Moved by the Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Snutch. Questions from those minutes? All in favor? That is carried. And lastly, that the special council meeting minutes dated October 28th, 2024 be adopted as presented. Moved by Councillor Goff, second by Councillor Tuyu. Any questions arising? All in favor? That is carried as well. Do I have a disclosure of pecuniary interest? Any member of council? I do have one I know on the committee on the budget, it has been pulled for a separate vote because of that is the employee wages. So I will declare at that time. Counselor Bell, you have one, I believe, on the chamber.
Yeah, I'll declare on the chamber.
On the same item when we get into the budget. Motions of which notice have been previously given, we have none, and public meetings we have none, but we do have a presentation and receiving of a petition and deputations. We have a deputation today from Adam Ray Kitchener. So come on up to the microphone whenever you're ready, sir, and just push the little button in the center. And I'll just wait to see it.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am a landlord here in the town of Ramara, actually a fairly new one. I took over a long, old property in disrepair known as 5179 Highway 12. This property was owned by Fane Bullen, who is, I believe, really a counselor back then. I stepped in as the new owner and tried to bring the units back online and bring them back up to date. During the renovations, I came into some issues, and the reason for my deputation is to hope that I can get some assistance from council in regards to these issues. I had my architect assist me with some of these points. The township has stated that there's actually only 4 apartments in this property. However, the fire department has indicated in 2 reports that there's a 3rd floor in the building and did not indicate that it was occupied at variance. So I guess, sorry, the first point is I'm trying to get it rezoned properly as a 5-plex as it's operated prior to 1992 under the ownership of Fane Bullen. The second issue that I'm trying to look at is the adjustment or removal of development charges, given the fact that this is a low-income property with a lot of low-income tenants. And I would like to actually, I guess, more so lead with that point. All of these units are exclusively rented to affordable housing agencies from tenants like Empower Simcoe, Green Haven, Simcoe Housing, and various others. In fact, we have done a lot to remove families from homeless shelters and provide them safe, affordable housing at 5179. The other reason why I would like to see that these development charges be waived or lifted is that because of the work that we've done, the township is not incurring any additional cost by taking these units from 4 units to 7, either short-term or long-term. The buildings provided no water from the township as it's on a well system. The building's garbage removal, a savings to the township, is done by a private contractor. And the building is nowhere near any buildings such as the library, community service, or the township office itself. It's actually closer to downtown Aurelia in general. So we have not actually added anything to the town's personal bank accounts by doing so. In fact, by approving the 7 units, we can actually increase the property taxes on the property because it would go from a residential property to a commercial property and then be subject to property taxes. The new apartments are, while they were created by the previous owner, were all done within the existing structure. The building was not expanded. We did not create any new spaces. We just merely used existing space within the apartments. Actually, the previous owner did. And many townships, including the town of Brantford, actually waive development charges if you are building within an existing structure, such as a basement or a garden suite or a garage. If there is a prime example of deserving no development charges consideration, I would suggest that this be considered one of them. This is a benefit to the township to recognize these units as legal, to create additional dwellings at no cost to the township, or hindrance to your services. In addition, this helps the ever-growing housing crisis, reducing the burden of our nonprofit housing agencies, and bringing the cost down will leave these units less expensive for the families that call 5179 Highway 12 home.
Okay, so just lots of questions here. Just want some clarification. So it's zoned right now, or we recognize it as 4 units, and you're saying there's 7 there, correct?
So my understanding as the zoning is currently known as village residential,
Right.
which allows up to 10.
Right.
But the town, as far as they understand, as far as records go back, only recognize 4 units in the property.
All right. Counselor Snotch, go ahead.
Thank you. What are the development charges that you want waived? What are we talking in dollars?
69,000.
69,000.
Yes.
Thank you.
3 units, is that? Yeah, I'm getting the nod, so yeah.
And you also mentioned a 5-plex there. I got a little lost.
It was my impression that when I bought it.
Your mic went off. You need to leave your mic on.
Sorry, I can speak. It was my impression that when I bought the property, it was 5 units and there was 2 that was sitting decommissioned. So I found this property on Realtor as everyone else buys properties these days. And I saw a property that was in disrepair. And I typically find properties like this and I bring them back to life through new kitchens and bathrooms and offering them as affordably as possible. Without sacrificing things such as health and safety from like a fire life and safety standpoint. It's my so Fane Bullen operated it as a 5-plex and we're hoping to take it to 7, but the township recognizes it only as 4. So that there's a bit of confusion there.
Which we would, of course, have, when it'd be a staff report, we'd have to get on it because we'd have to see if there's any underlying legal issues or any of that, of course,
Yeah.
but certainly willing to have a look at it. Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I would have you approach the county of Simcoe because they do have an affordable housing program that does work with landlords for these kind of programs. Have you reached out to them at all?
No, when I ran into this issue, I was told that I should do a deputation first. I mean, if that's an option, I'll happily pursue that as well. I haven't sought like renovation costs or anything like that through the county. All of the costs so far have been burdened onto myself as part of being a landlord. Is, you know, I haven't gone for additional help in that assistance. No.
Okay, I would suggest you do. I'm the chair of the Affordable Housing Committee. Reach out to Mina and just at least connect with them to see what programs are available. Might help you. Okay.
I think at this point, it's about getting your building in compliance, I think
Correct.
is the issue
Yeah.
we have right now. Dave, go ahead, Counselor Snotch.
So again, there was 5 units when you bought it,
Yes.
which were all rented out. Have the other 2 units been constructed yet?
Yes.
And did you get permits and all that to do the other 2?
So it's my understanding is that the units that were there, all of the plumbing and systems were in place. They had no kitchens and no bathrooms. So it's my understanding of the building law is that when you're doing something as simple as a kitchen renovation or a bathroom renovation, no permits would need to be pulled in those cases. This is the first project I've done on this scale of things. I've actually always stayed within the 4-plex zone. And I kind of looked at this and went, well, it's 7 units. It can only be twice as bad as a 4-plex. And I think I was wrong on that assessment. Like in the past, I've had to pull permits for work that I've done in Gravenhurst. I did a renovation in Gravenhurst and worked with the township there. And actually got glowing reviews from Kevin McKelvey from the fire inspector in there. But the work that I actually physically did not require a permit. All of this stuff was done when I bought it. It had a lot of old laminate floors, it had a lot of old kitchens, the place was in disrepair, so maybe like holes in the walls and things like that. But the idea was to put a minimal renovation to get these things brought online.
So are you renting out units 6 and 7 now?
Correct.
Thank you.
Anyway, we'll get a staff report on it for sure, because I guess our concern would be those units might have been added without permits. We don't know. We have to get some kind of history on the building to see where it is and how we can bring it in compliance. Because I thought, and maybe through to my fire chief, didn't you have to have sprinklers when you get over a certain amount? Like, is it 4? I thought was the cutoff. Or is there other things you can do?
Thank you, Your Worship. It is based on size of the building. I
Oh.
don't think it would be required
Okay.
in this instance.
Because that would be really, you don't want to go down that road.
I think that like the building has a fire alarm system.
Yeah.
Which tells me that somewhere along the line, someone did something the legal way, and I'm not sure if the records have just been missing from the Ramara standpoint, because based on my understanding of Fane, I don't think he was doing anything above and beyond what would be necessarily required, if not ordered. And there's some indicators like a fire alarm system, so a centralized fire alarm system, which is up to date, that's in the building. And there's also metal exterior stairwells, which it would have been ordered no other than the fire department itself. So I believe there must be some record where some recognition that there's residents in this place. But it's my understanding that the town doesn't really even know where the 4 units are within the property. And I guess the real issue with that is this is a 150-year-old housing structure. If I'm being asked to bring this up to 2024 code, that just simply is not going to happen. Tenants would be displaced, and any new tenants would be coming in, would be paying substantially more rent. I'm trying to keep this within an affordability ratio for the town people, and keeping within the guidelines of a Section 11 renovation or Section 9 renovation.
I'm familiar, it actually, believe it or not, was a general store when I was very, very young, before the camp park came along. The general store was there and then moved across the other side of the highway. So it's a very, very old building. So certainly we can look into a report. Go ahead, Joe, Councillor Goff.
Two things that a lot of items questions I had have already been answered and discussed. Do you not have county garbage pickup?
No,
No, 7.
we actually reached out to the county and had that removed once the property was rented, because we no longer qualify. If we are a 7-unit complex, we would no longer qualify.
Okay, just in the past, I remember seeing the garbage bins and the recycling bins all out in front of there. And
yeah, those have been relocated to the back of the property as well. But not the city's bins, the garbage bins themselves have been,
own personal
through waste connections.
Yeah. Okay, and you said you don't receive any services from Ramara, but the library is actually just down the road at the Ramara Center. So your residents could use.
Of course.
Right.
Sorry. Yes.
And it's a lot closer than Arroyo.
Okay, well, we'll get a report, and we'll look into it and see if we can help.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so I've got a suggested motion. As soon as I find it, I did have. That we receive the deputation from Adam Ray Kitchener regarding the new apartment units at 5179 Highway 12, and that staff prepare a report. Would that is the motion? Can I have a mover? Councillor Goff, second by Councillor Snutch. Any other questions? All in favor? We will look into it, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a good day.
All right, so now I've got our consent agenda, and thank you for being patient. All right. So motion that we adopt and endorse the recommendations of items 10.1 to 10.3 of the consent agenda dated November 6, 2024. Oh, I should have cleared it. Moved by the Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Tuyu on the consent. Any questions? Any to be pulled? Dave?
Just in the actual recommendation, it says we adopt and endorse. I don't remember we really endorsing here with the 10.3, right? And what is there to endorse?
Yeah, I think they're looking for us to endorse. Were they not on 10.3, correct?
Let's say 10.1.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're just endorsing the one and the others we're just receiving. Yeah, maybe, do we need to clean that up in that's usually in the recommendation right under the actual motion.
That we could change it to that, items 1 and 2 be received
Yes,
as information, and that we endorse 10.3.
10.3. Okay. Everybody's fine. Mover and seconder is fine with that. Councillor Tuyu.
So sorry, just to clarify that one though. So for 10.2, would we still be going through on the recommendation to congratulate Taylor?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor? That is carried. Yes. It's some great applicants come in for that well-received program. Okay, so now we're on to 11 from boards and committees. So this is where okay, I've got a new motion on paper. Yeah, because we've changed some because we're trying to get all the recorded votes. So just let me go to the agenda that I've printed so it keeps me on track. So the recommendation that section D of the special committee report, the Terry Fox grant, because it was a negative, we want to roll it into section A of the agenda. And then when we do today at 11.3, that would come as a new motion if the councillor wishes to add it to the budget at the same time we look at the other one, because if not, we would have been doing a recorded vote on a negative, so it's going to be in the minutes as a negative. but we'd need a separate motion to actually add it to the budget. So then we would approve, so is that a motion you want me to vote on, or that just
Yes,
happened?
your worship.
So that's the first motion that we just roll it back in. Moved by Counselor Bell, second by Counselor Goff. All in favor? That is carried. Now that section A of the Special Committee of the Whole Report 2024 be adopted as amended. So this is section A, not all the individuals. Moved by, and this is most of the budget, Deputy Mayor, second by Counselor Goff. Any other comments on section A? Now, keep in mind, the budget is coming again later. All in favor? That is carried. Okay, so now done with that. Get rid of it. Recommend that, okay, you got to make sure that section B of the Committee of the Whole, which is the one you have the conflict on now, Counselor Bell, meeting report October 24th be adopted as presented. So Counselor Bell has declared a conflict on this one. So moved by Counselor Goff, second by the Deputy Mayor. And I think there's a correction. It says $100. I believe it's 125 is what a membership is. No?
Yes, but when we do budget, we have to round it. So that's why it's.
Oh, it's just rounded?
Yeah.
Okay. So on what we decided, which is just to buy the membership. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Again, keeping in mind, Counselor Bell declared on that one. Section C of the Special Committee of the Whole, cost of living, is actually being deferred to 11/2 from the next day. So we'll just push it forward and have the recorded vote then. So do I even,
We'll still
I
need
need a motion for the deferral. I have a conflict, but I don't have an issue with the deferral. So moved by Counselor Goff, second by Counselor Snutch. All in favor of the deferral? That is carried. So that one we'll deal with. That section E of the Special Committee of the Whole Report, food recycler October, also be deferred because it was discussed the next day. So we'll vote on it when we do 11/5. Moved by Counselor Goff, second by Counselor Bell. It's just being moved forward to later. So we vote on it once. All in favor? That is carried. So section F, that section F of the Special Committee of the Whole Report, physician recruitment, October 24th, 2024 be adopted as presented. And the motion was to remove it from the budget. And I believe, Counselor Bell, you want a recorded vote on this one, correct?
I do, but I want recorded votes on a few things, but we don't do record. Oh, we're in.
No, we're in
Yeah,
council.
I know, but I guess I was confused about what we're doing because I thought we're not doing budget today and we're ratifying it on the 27th. So
Oh, but there is some more recorded votes coming in the second day. There's a recorded vote that you can have on the recycler. And there's another one that we just did on the wages that I'll have to leave for.
okay,
And then the other one would be the
food cycler.
the
And then
you'll have
Terry
to bring as an amendment. The Terry Fox would be an
Fox.
amendment when we do 11/3.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
trying to get them all.
I know, yeah,
It's a matter
it's
of
confusing.
that I want to make sure we're only voting on them once because they're actually approving in our agenda 2 and 3 times because we had 3 different budget meetings. So I'm trying to get them all. It's one vote on each one of those issues. But now is the Aurelian Lake Country recruitment be removed from the budget. So that's what the motion was. Moved by,
Clarification, was that not reallocated? We're still doing 20,000, putting it in reserve.
that's, yep, that's, I'm going back to my actual budget now here, right? I need to go to the one on screen. Because the fire training's in there. There's a bunch more that are separate budgets. So yes, no.
So we kept the 20,000 as a request for donation.
Yes,
If we don't use it at the end of 2025, then it will go in reserve.
right. But I believe that's even another motion later. Hang on, because there's a lot of them here. I just want to make sure before the draft receive the budget. Is that where the medical one's being adopted as present? Where did that one end up, Madam Clerk? Or is it in this particular motion? Because it was in the budget. Yeah, I think it was just in the budget document. Oh, oh no, it's in section F of the later one today. That it be 20,000 be put in the budget and forwarded looking for solutions. So it's in the next item that I'm gonna get at. So this one is to remove doctor recruitment. That's what the motion is. And the motion is to remove it from the budget. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Counselor Snutch, yes? Oh, yes, absolutely. Only new information though, because we already did go through budget.
new information would be today, there's an article and it really matters where Romadonte is requesting or showing examples of other municipalities that are paying between $80,000 and $100,000 as signing bonuses. I would suggest that staff, whoever read that article that was published today.
Okay,
That's all I have to say.
information when I think we have 80,000 that we get right from the province, but that was, okay. So on the motion, and I'm just want to make that the Aurelia Lake Country Physician Recruitment budget item be removed from the budget. Did you want a recorded, Councillor Bell would like a recorded vote, so. So she would.
Please state yea or nay. Counselor Bell?
It's no.
No,
'cause you don't
I know I'm
have to-
getting lost. I am. I have a really bad headache. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Deputy Mayor Bell?
Yes.
Or Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Counselor Fisher is absent. Counselor Goff?
Yes.
Counselor Snutch?
Yes.
And Counselor Tuyu?
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for that.
Okay, next motion I have is, I gotta go here. That's. So that was. Which ones did I do now? Cost of living, we've deferred. Oh, the chamber, we've done, right? Cost of living, we've done. Section B, proposed food recyclers coming later. Yes.
Cost of living, though, I was wanting to record it because I didn't want to reduce it.
No, I don't know. I will leave when we get to that. I'm just trying to get through the that's 11-3. We just moved it to there. So I'm just making sure. Now, I don't need to vote on all these other individual, the firefighters. Are they separate votes, Madam Clerk? No, they're included. But I did know the one was there for the physician recruitment, which proposed chamber we've done. Cost of living's been moved, proposed budget, Terry Fox has been moved. Food cycler's been moved, and physician recruitment. Okay, so that's all I had on that particular one. All right. So now, hang on, we are on to 11-2. So section A, which is just the budget in general, correct? And then so
That's
on
correct.
section A, which is a designated ratepayers, is it not? I want to make sure I get this right for everybody. No, it's later too. No, it's all the rest, it's all the other budgets again on section A. So
Through your worship, it's also all the other items that were discussed at the committee of the whole meeting that.
yep, the stabilization funds and all those. So moved by that, we remove, I'm just looking for the actual motion here. The section A of the special committee, the whole report, October 22nd, be adopted as presented. Okay, that's the remainder of the budget. Deputy Mayor, Councillor Goff. Questions on that? All in favor? That is carried. Okay, that's section B. That the committee of the whole meeting report, food recycler, October 28th, 2024, be adopted as presented. And section B on this one is that we are removing the food recycler. That's the motion in it. So the motion is that we remove it from the budget. Moved by Councillor Snutch, second by the Deputy Mayor.
And that's the recorded vote because I
A recorded vote, Councillor Bell wanted. So I will wait for my clerks.
Thank you, your worship. Counselor Bell,
Opposed.
Deputy Mayor Bell,
In favor.
Mayor Clark,
In favor.
Counselor Fisher is absent, Counselor Goff,
In favor.
Counselor Snutch,
In favor.
and Counselor Tuyu.
In favor.
That motion is carried.
Okay, thank you. Section C, Deputy Mayor. I highlight it with a little asterisk right here.
Perfect. Appreciate it. I'll let you get out of here. All right, recommendation that section C of the special committee of the whole report, draft budget, pay equity and cost of living wages of October 28th, 2024 be adopted as presented. So put that on the floor, please. Councillor Goff, seconded by Councillor Snutch. All right, and you've requested yep, okay. So Councillor Bell has now requested a recorded vote.
Counselor Bell,
Opposed.
Deputy Mayor Bell,
In favor?
Mayor Clark has abstained. due to a conflict of interest. Counselor Fisher is absent. Counselor Goff,
In favor.
Counselor Snatch,
In favor.
and Counselor Tuyu.
Oh. In favor.
Okay, that is carried. We'll get the mayor back in. I appreciate that. Back to you, your worship.
All right. Okay, so now we are that section D of the special committee of the whole report, which is the water budget, be adopted as presented.
That water angle.
I have just water, in the whole report, and I don't have sewer at all, so, I guess it's both. No, it's just the water. I don't have a motion for the sewer then. So it is just the water. Only thing it was, yeah, the sewer one was included in the budget? Okay.
Through your worship, so there were two separate motions. One was to receive the presentation, and in that same motion, it was for the water budget, and then a separate motion was for the wastewater budget.
Okay, I may not have that one in front of me then. Okay,
Yeah, where's it? Because I'll be opposing that, right?
well, I have it in my actual agenda. I just don't have it in the printed one, but I do have the motion. So we're doing the water one first. Moved by Counselor Goff, second by Counselor Snatch. New information? Counselor Tuyu.
I just thought since we had addressed it first when we were talking about water and wastewater, we sort of were presented with those two scenarios. One was the 8%, and then the other one was getting us to zero deficit by 2033. But the rates were jumping all over the place. And I think we went with 8 because we did like the idea of the consistent amount.
Read it if you'd like. The motion I have is we received the 2025 proposed water and wastewater budget presentation, and it's scenario 1 showing 8% annual increase as seen in the 2025 proposed water budget before the council for approval. So it's the 8% that we're doing on the water.
Yes, thank you. And I was hoping that we could maybe just rediscuss it to kind of try to do it the way that we did with the wastewater, which was still get to zero deficit by 2033, but having a consistent interest rate all the way across the board, sort of like what we did with wastewater.
You mean the increase?
Is it not?
That's
It
right.
is at 8%, is it not correct, Manoj?
So that was the scenario that was endorsed
Yeah.
during the last meeting. And we end up with a slight deficit at the end of 2033. If we want to be at zero deficit, it would be a 8.22 increase, 22 yearly instead of 8.
All right, and I understand you're basing on the fact that we did it with the sewers. I'm comfortable with the slight decrease because we didn't have any big pending water issues that we're gonna have to deal, well, that we know of. Any big water issues at the end of 2035, so I'm comfortable with it, but I understand you're basing it on the fact that we made the decision after on the sewer. So Councillor Bell.
Thank you. And I would want to amend the motion because in 2021, we had the opportunity to do a consulting engineer's report to look at Davy Drive and Park Lane for solutions. And that didn't happen in 21, and it actually got pushed to 22, and then it didn't happen in 22. So I would accept the 8%, but I would accept the 8% with the consulting engineer's report, at least the discussion coming back. So I would want to look at the consulting engineer's report. Otherwise, I'm okay with opposing the increase, but I want to make sure that that doesn't drop because it's been dropped for a couple of years now.
What was the consultant?
It was decided that we couldn't do it.
It was not. We did not ever do the consulting engineer's report. We chose to go do a consulting engineer's report on South Ramara instead.
No, there was a
The
report.
decommissioning of the two.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we looked at the defragmentation and there was multiple reports for it. It's not something that's easily supported and you have to have 100%
participation.
Residents in favor to move that ahead to defragment. So it would have to be proposed in a manner that you get 100% participation that would make it viable. But even with that, there's maintenance costs. Like you have to guarantee good water for certain periods of time. Septic. So we'd be drilling wells, putting septics in, guaranteeing those systems. So there was multiple reports on it. From myself, I believe, and from Zach as well, that it wasn't financially viable to.
Yeah, and that was paying for it as well.
Okay, Counselor Goff, and then I'll go back to.
Well, I believe that's the reason there was no actually going out and getting a consulting with the information that we had received on council at the time.
You're not gonna get 29 people to agree, but go ahead,
Sorry,
Counselor Goff.
but yeah, there was no, and I did speak with Zach about this at length though, because all I ever saw was conversation from Zach and he said verbal reports to us, but there's actually no report that says whether a well can be drilled. There's no report that says whether a cistern could be used. It was discussion, but there was no actual substance other than discussion, when I listened in 22. And then when I went back and looked for the 21 where the motion started, I'm agreeing with you that there's staff reports there, but we didn't actually do any investigation. It was just Zach doing a verbal report to council. So, I still would want to see a report that definitively says this can't happen, because I can't see why people wouldn't agree to take a system offline that costs $6,500 a year in 22 pricing. And I don't know what today's pricing would actually look like. So I couldn't imagine a bunch of people saying, no, we're happy for the system to cost this much money, because that wouldn't make any sense. So I don't know why we wouldn't at least have a proper staff report versus a verbal report. I remembered Zach was talking about how it was done, I believe, in Bob Cage and Fenelon Falls area, and that it was difficult and that you had to do a lot of things with the ministry. And I understand all those things, but the two systems are extremely, extremely expensive. So if there's an option, I couldn't imagine why a resident wouldn't agree to doing that, but we would never know if we don't go a little bit further down the investigation lane.
So for today, though, on the budget, we're going with the information we have. So the budget to balance, right, we're gonna be in a slight what do you call it, deficit at the end, but the motion on the floor is the 8%. Did you want to put the amendment in for the 8.2?
Yes,
Do you
I
have a
do.
seconder for that amendment? We have a seconder here in Councillor Goff. So this is to go to 8.2 to get rid of the deficit. I won't support. I'm comfortable with the small deficit. So the amendment is to raise this motion to 8.22, was it? And then we would vote on the main motion. So on the amendment, no, they're amending the motion. So they're putting a motion. Well, you put the motion on the floor. They've moved the amendment. So on the amendment to move it up to 8.22, all in favor? All opposed? That is defeated. So now on the main motion, the way it was read originally, recorded vote?
Yeah, because I'll oppose without a staff report.
Yep, perfect. So it's to set the rate at the 8%. All right.
Counselor Bell,
Opposed.
Deputy Mayor Bell,
In favor.
Mayor Clerk,
In favor?
Counselor Fisher is absent. Counselor Goff,
In favor.
Counselor Snutch,
In favor.
and Counselor Tuyu.
In favor.
That motion's carried.
Okay, so now we've done the food recycler, right? Or did we? Yeah, so now I'm on to, I don't have one for the sewer rate. I don't have a motion. Oh, it was in section A, so we've already voted on it. All right.
No, because I would be opposing
Yeah,
that as well.
Counselor
So it
Bell,
was supposed to
I
be a
didn't-
separate motion.
It was asked for as a separate motion, so if we can draft one up for the sewer rates. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize it was in there either. I was looking for it. I didn't see it. I apologize. We were trying to get out all the recorded votes, so a mover to separate it, Deputy Mayor, second by. I'm not seeing it. Is in the water budget, but we have nothing for the sewer budget. I don't actually have it, so that's why I think, you're sure it's in section A? I didn't think. Okay, well, let's pull it out. We'll definitely pull it out for a recorded vote. It's an important one. Deputy Mayor moved it. Seconded by Snutch. We're pulling it out, making it section. Yeah, E now. So all in favor, that is carried. So now we will have the motion on the water rates, but I'll need somebody to read it. I don't have it in front of me. wastewater rates, yes. And I think that's the last, and then we're done with that one. Then we do today's. You want to do it under 11.3? Pull it then. All right, we'll do it now. All right.
The wastewater resolution reads that a yearly increase for the wastewater budget of 13% to achieve a net zero deficit by 2033 be forwarded to council for approval.
Moved by Counselor Goff, second by Counselor Tuyu. Recorded vote? Recorded vote, Counselor Bell.
So I oppose.
We'll have to wait till they call you. Yeah, I know. Pretty sure we knew.
Okay, thank you. And Deputy Mayor Bell,
In favor.
Mayor Clark,
In favor.
Counselor Fisher is absent, Counselor Goff,
In favor.
Counselor Snutch,
In favor.
Counselor Tuyu.
In favor.
That motion's carried. Thank you.
Thank you. And I know this was confusing for some counselors because we did have to move stuff around to have one vote on each issue. Now we're done. That is our second budget day. It's completed. Now we have today's budget as amended, the one that was just at committee of the whole. So this is the actual budget now. Which all the numbers, because so far we haven't changed anything. So those numbers are still good. So I have a motion that the committee of the whole meeting report dated November 6, 2024 be adopted as presented. So that's everything. I would suggest we pull the budget out from the committee of the whole and make it section B, because I know there's some amendments to the budget just on the grants we heard today. So I need a motion to pull out the budget, make it section B. Moved by Counselor Goff, second by the deputy mayor, all in favor. Okay, the budget is pulled out. So now it's on the rest of the committee of the whole that we just did today. Questions or concerns on it? All in favor. That is carried. Okay, section B, that, and I'll do my best, that, how do you want to word it? That the 2024 budget be approved as presented for now. Moved by Counselor Goff, second by the deputy mayor. Any amendments to the budget? Because we had a, yep, Counselor Bell.
Do you want to do the Terry Fox amendment here at this
Yeah,
point?
now.
Okay.
Yes,
Right, so then-
because it's, yeah, it was a
Yeah.
negative, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I want to make sure I'm in the right place. So, yeah, so my amendment is that we put the Terry Fox funding request into the budget for 2025.
Yeah, 583, I
It's
think.
$553.
A seconder? Second by Counselor Goff to put it up for discussion in the budget. I was gonna give up the chair if you didn't. So on that, we did have a discussion on it that day. So on the amendment, whether we include the Terry Fox comments.
Yeah, I don't think as a non-profit organization, we should be sponsoring nonprofits, but I would be quite willing to throw in $100 myself.
So on the putting it in the budget. No, I'm not going to put a challenge out to council because everybody's financial, I'll get in trouble for that. All in favor? Do you want to record a vote?
Yes.
Okay. Of putting it into the budget. So
Counselor Bell.
Yes.
yes.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Bell.
Opposed to adding it into the budget.
Okay, Mayor Clark.
Opposed.
Counselor Fisher's absent, Counselor Goff,
In favor.
Counselor Snutch,
Opposed.
and Counselor Tuyu.
Opposed.
That motion's defeated.
Thank you. And do I have an amendment for the one we just heard today, which was, I forget what it was called, the book? The baby.
Born to Read.
Born to Read.
Yes.
So if you want to include in the budget, it was 300 to 500.
Yes, they're asking between 300 and 500.
I guess we got to say 5 then, or do you just say 4?
We can say 3.
Well, you're moving it. What's your motion, Joe?
That we put it in the budget for what we had done in the past.
So
Which
it was
is 3.
300.
No, it's for the books that they mentioned today. Manoa said we got a request in that we'd missed prior to budget. So all newborn babies, well, Ramara babies, they donate 2 books to them as their, I guess, their first official gift. And the library program was aware of it. It just, we missed it at budget day. The request, can I have a mover? I would need a seconder if we're gonna add it to the budget. Second by the deputy mayor. Any other information on it? It came in last minute, but we did support it last year. All in favor? Opposed, if any? It's carried. So now on the budget as amended. Did I have a mover and a seconder for the budget? I know. Yeah. Okay, we don't have a budget. So mover and seconder for the budget as amended by Councillor Goff, second by the deputy mayor. So this is now the budget as amended, and this is what will be going to the next for the bylaw. All right, so this is the budget. Anybody want to record a vote? Anything in favor on the budget?
Yeah, because I'm gonna oppose it because I can't get anything I want done. So, all right.
Yes, we're gonna get this one read. So go ahead. The consolidated budget. So it should be in the, I don't have those actual minutes. So
This is where the
everything,
wastewater is.
everything, this is now the consolidated budget, everything in it, all the motions we just passed. It's all consolidated now.
That we receive the 2025 draft budget and the 2025 draft budget as amended be forwarded to council for adoption.
Or RAC council, so yes. Moved by, and I think my mover was Councillor Goff and the deputy mayor. Recorded vote asked by Councillor Bell. This is on the budget.
Mr. Mayor, just a point of information, please, before you call the question.
Yes.
It is a question of council to adopt the amended budget, Madam Clerk, just so it's clear. Adopting the budget as amended.
Yes, adopting the budget. Everybody's clear? All right.
Counselor Bell, please.
I'm opposed to the budget.
Deputy Mayor Bell,
Agreed.
Mayor Clark,
In favor?
Counselor Fisher is absent. Counselor Goff,
In favor.
Counselor Snutch,
In favor.
and Counselor to you.
In favor.
That motion is carried.
And thank you, council, for your patience. I know there was a lot of motions to go through there and we had to shuffle them around, so we weren't voting on issues twice. I appreciate that bearing with us. But it's through, got the recorded votes that were requested for. Items requiring immediate attention to council, we have none.
Mr. Mayor, excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're
You're causing trouble now, sir.
I'm not trying to cause trouble, Mr. Mayor. I just want to be clear. The council has adopted the budget. However, on the 25th of November, which is the time needed for the treasurer to finalize the package and for the ratification bylaw to be
That's correct.
prepared, that bylaw will be before council with all the opportunities to be able to endorse the bylaw, which would ratify. You've adopted the budget.
Yep.
And then it requires ratification in a bylaw to strike the budget.
And that will be December 9th, I think we were.
25th of November.
The
Mr. Mayor.
25th of November, yes. That's the special council meeting that we have to actually ratify. That's the bylaw to pass the budget. Yes. Okay, thank you for clarifying that, sir. All right, thank you, Councillor Snotch pointed out, I missed 11.4 now, that the library board minutes dated September 19th, 2024 be received as information. Moved by Councillor Goff, second by Deputy Mayor. Questions, comments? Not seeing any. All in favor? That is carried. Next, I have that the Committee of Adjustment minutes dated September 10th, 2024 be received as information. Councillor Goff again and Councillor Snutch. And I did get an answer to my question on that one decision. And I want to thank staff for that report that yes, when it's a split decision, it's automatically defeated because it takes a majority of an application to go through. So thank you for clarifying that. Any other questions? All in favor? That is carried. Now it's items requiring immediate attention. We have none. No unfinished business. County Council update that we received this County of Simcoe council highlights dated October 22nd, 2024 as information. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Goff. Questions on the update? All in favor? That is carried. Announcements and inquiries, member of council, Councillor Bell.
Thank you. Just a reminder to everybody that the Ramara Historical Society is having a fundraiser at Edney Hall this Saturday morning between 8 and 11:30. And they're raising funds for yesteryears. So it'll be a great event and usually pretty good pancakes with.
Pancake and maple syrup, so.
Always good breakfast there. Thank you for that.
I'm sorry, Councilor Bell, what time was that at 8:30 or 8?
Between 8 and 11:30.
I will unfortunately be out of town, but you'll lead on my behalf. 2 helping, sir. All right, request for reports, members of council. Seeing any notices of motion, we have none. Bills and bylaws. We have none. So and now we have the confirmatory bylaw, the bylaw 2024-77, a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council meeting held on the 6th day of November 2024 be considered read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Moved by the Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Bell. All in favor? That is carried, and a recommendation that we now adjourn at 5. Oh, yes, sir.
I am being troublesome, Mr. Mayor. Just for information for council and for any members of the community that are listening, there'll be a delay in opening the doors on Friday morning. There's an all staff meeting, so there will be a little bit of a delay in opening the doors. I believe it will be 9:30 plus or minus that the doors will open.
Perfect. Hope everybody still here to hear that. Okay. So a motion that we now adjourn at 5:36 PM until November 25th, 2024 at 9:30 AM. Moved by Councillor Goff, second by Councillor Bell.